the flying ace of World War II, winner of the Congressional Medal of Honor, former governor of South Dakota, and Joe Foss, outdoorsman.
Joe Foss has had many adventures in his life, but perhaps none more surprising than in the fall of 1959, when he was interviewed by the owners of the new American Football League for the position of commissioner.
Questioning went along these lines: have you seen any pro games? And I said, yes, I've seen 2, and I've seen a couple on television, and I guess that didn't work so well with somebody that was there, because the next day, according to the Associated Press, the story read like this: the American Football League is certain of one thing, and that is Joe Foss will not be commissioner.
In a stunning reversal, Foss got the job, not because of his football knowledge, but because of his... In the fight now, Foss was shot down 4 times. Crash landed twice, survived a case of malaria, and finished the war as America's top ace with 26 confirmed kills. Back home, he received the Congressional Medal of Honor. He was a real-life John Wayne, and Hollywood took notice, offering $750,000 to tell his story, with the Duke himself in the lead role. But Foss declined.
The reason I said no is because I didn't like the script. The script had a lot of romantic bull in there. It would make me look like the biggest woman chaser in the world. And I said, I'm not selling my soul.
Foss eventually told his tales. As AFL commissioner, he flew his own plane to games and treated passengers to his war stories.
Joe would sit up the front of the plane. Well, Joe, what was it like in the Philippines? Well, there the zeros were 12 o'clock high. The sun was in the west. It was in our eye. You know, we're getting this whole thing about all the war battles. It was more fun sitting up there with him. He was just like one of the guys. Even though he wasn't a football guru in any sense of the word, to him it was an adventure. Hey, we're going to try to do something good here together. See if we can get this thing started, which he did.
The new American Football League opens in New York with the Titans taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Titans' Dick Jameson pitching a long one. Don Maynard snares it and keeps going to the Bills.
The crowd was so small that I was able to go up and shake hands with everyone that was there and congratulate them on coming to the game.
In the AFL's early days, the only thing smaller than the crowds at the games were the crowds at the annual commissioner's party.
We go over, we walk in the front desk, the El Cortez Hotel. Where's the American Football League party? And the guy said, we don't have any, you know. I said, well, you know, you got Joe Foss here? They said, it was the first floor. I said, yeah, he's like room 106. We walk down the hallway, knock on the door. Fellas! Joe opens, so we have a big cowboy. Hey, come on in, boys. It was his room. He has sliding glass door on the first floor. He says, come on, the party's out here. He had 2 cases of beer on ice, 2 tables, pretzels, potato chips. He had a few guys from San Diego. What do you think of the game tomorrow? This is the commissioner's party.
The writers called me a Bush commissioner because I'd go down on the field before the game, meet the quarterbacks, talk to the coaches. I went to all the training camps and did exercises with the guys. In those days, I could do almost 500 push-ups, and I know one time I did them with one of the clubs, and I think there are only a half a dozen guys that could do more push-ups than I could.
And to introduce the men is the commissioner of the American Football League, Mr. Joe Foss. Let's welcome Mr. Joe Foss.
Foss's executive decisions always had a down-home personal touch.
The first presentation will be to the Rookie of the Year, Curtis McClinton.
I just tried to treat every one of the players just like they were my own son. I talked and preached to all the players that now I want you to be someone that the individuals out there look up to. I want you to be more or less an example of what man can accomplish and not be some joker that's not representing the right side of life.
Foss's words were put to the test at the end of the '64 season at the AFL's All-Star Game in the racially charged atmosphere of New Orleans. After being refused service by several hotels and taxis, 22 black players decided to walk away from the game in protest.
What was happening is that the people down there were insulting them. Then I talked to our people on the scene down there, and they said, yeah, it's bad, Commissioner. And so I said, would it be possible that we could just move and have the All-Star game in Houston?
Well, what's the next move? Will the game be played and where?
The game will be played January 16th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, Houston, Texas, Jefferson Stadium, the home of the Houston Oilers.
A commissioner has to be a take-charge individual. Right's right, wrong's wrong, period. We just moved. The mayor of New Orleans was a little upset at me, but I think it taught him to quit sucking eggs.
By the 1965 season, the farm boy from South Dakota was sitting on top of a golden egg. The AFL's wide-open style of play was a hit with the fans. A lucrative television deal was in place, and new stadiums mushroomed. The AFL finally had the resources to scout the best college players.
Alabama sends Joe Namath zigging and zagging, and he goes over to...
Then sign them away from the NFL. The former pilot had gotten the AFL off the ground. But team owners were anxious for a merger and replaced him with Al Davis in the spring of 1966.
See, I never was for the two leagues going together. What I wanted was a setup similar to baseball. Two separate leagues and then to meet in a big Super Bowl.
3 years later, the ex-commissioner sat in the crowd at Super Bowl III, cheering for the league he helped start.
That was a great day. Ernie Ladd was carrying me around like a Cupid doll on his forearm, and he wouldn't let me down. He was running around there, taking me around, and said, "This is the commissioner." I was really ecstatic about it. I knew it would happen. I was so confident that they would make it. I wouldn't have taken the job. I knew there was no failing. Now, I wasn't going to be a part of any failure.
When we drafted Tim Duncan to special education children in South Central Los Angeles, and a father of figures when it comes to interceptions. His tough love is opening doors for high school players in Washington, D.C. And for Steve Mariucci, the time is now.
What time is it? Now. Now.
Don't miss Father Figures next week on Presents, which debuts Tuesday at 8 p.m. on The Deuce. For additional air times, check your local listings.
Edge Pro Gel for unsurpassed comfort. Lose the foam. Save your skin.
ESPN thanks you for watching.
This one scores on.
Following presentation of the National Football League.
Can you be a great coach and a great dad? And Fathers of Figures today on NFL Films Presents.
Hold on to your seats for this play, folks.
What kind of a call is that? This is when the big dogs come out.
This one scores on.
NFL Films Presents is brought to you by Edge Pro.
If it's in the game, it's in the game. NHL 99.
It's in the game.
55.
Your DirecTV.
The head coach is an authority figure to his team, but to his own family, he's often an absent figure, working 180 days straight during the NFL season. Not exactly a picture-perfect life.
Let's say they were going to make a movie of your life. Would it be a comedy, an adventure, a drama?
It'd be Barnum.
Would definitely be G-rated. We know that.
Yeah, I have a boring life.
Life for Steve Mariucci is a thrill a minute. Even his own family is entertained by his energy and enthusiastic spirit. That's how he's always been.
Football was always his first love. In fact, I remember he was about 9. That's when Little League started. And I said, Steve, why don't you try out for Little League baseball? No, I'm playing football. You know, that's it. Football, football, football.
As a senior in high school, Mariucci captained 3 different sports, but football was the game he knew best.
He used to sit on my knee here, watching the football games, and I tried to explain as much as I could. Now I ask him.
At Northern Michigan University, Mariucci made All-American and won a national championship. His first NFL job was with the Packers, tutoring a quarterback who had never completed a single pass in the NFL. In just 4 seasons, Brett Favre became the league's MVP. Mariucci became known as a player's coach, and in 1997 was named head coach in San Francisco.
Now let's get to where we're going now. Let's get to where we're going. We got a good individual period coming here. Dave Gordon, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get somewhere, huh?
A people person in the ultimate people business, Mariucci has his own timetable.
We on time, buddy?
You wear a watch? Why are you looking at me like that?
Wear a watch? I don't have a watch.
Every coach, every part of the day is on a routine, and that this starts at 6:05, and you don't wear a watch.
Okay, I have a clock that says now, all the way around, and I believe in that. I believe that there's no reason to procrastinate or wait or build for the future so we can win another Super Bowl 5 years from now. Jerry Rice doesn't want to hear that. You want to do it now. You want to do it tomorrow. You want to do it this year. Time is it?
Now.
Now.
That philosophy was tested in Mariucci's first game as head coach when both Steve Young and Jerry Rice were injured in a devastating loss. Still, Mariucci's confidence never wavered. He didn't have the time. The next week, without Young or Rice, the Niners gave Mariucci his first win as head coach.
Hand off to Hurst on a counter. Breaks, goes to the 30. Breaks away. He's to the 10. He's to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
No, it's only a start, babe. That's a start. It's a slow start, but it's a start. Now, every man come back tomorrow because now we go, all right? We hit the bottom, and now we're going. Good. See ya. Keep putting the heat on them, man. Keep putting the heat on them.
Powered by the league's top-rated defense, the 49ers continue to win. In 1997, San Francisco won 11 games in a row, an NFL record for a rookie head coach.
Most people have biorhythms, right? It doesn't seem like he has any of those. He just bio up rhythms.
Let's have some fun here, Steve Young. Let's have some fun.
His favorite thing is come a running.
That's the way to come a running, Ray Brown.
That's all the time. Is this fun or what?
Is this fun or what?
I think the reason why he's such a good coach is that he loves to communicate with people.
Now, listen, I want you to go home tonight and write down your goals. No more red zone sacks, okay?
He wants to know, what do we need to do to make this work?
That's a first. I really appreciate that. That's a first.
Don't mention it. Nice job, baby.
I owe you.
That's true.
So it's a different way of parenting, I guess.
Do you think there are any similarities between being a good father and being a good coach?
When practice is over and meetings are over, you say goodbye and see you tomorrow. And obviously being a dad, is so much more involved in that. It's kind of a balancing act between being as good a coach as you can be and being also a family man.
Would you have any hobbies?
If I have a day off, I'm with my kids. I don't want to call my kids my hobby, but that's what I do with my other time.
Steven's up. Steven's up. Hey, come on, Steven. Tell him right there. Tell him.
We go to college, and you study your profession.
Okay.
But you don't take a class and learn how to be a great dad.
Come on, run, 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 run.
Hey, really, a lot of it's on-the-job training when you think about it, you know?
Where to go? Where to go, Steven?
It's fun to be a parent. It's so much fun.
And let's eat some spaghetti.
The joy is in watching them grow and improve themselves and learn and give you a hug back once in a while.
Do they come to the games?
Oh, yeah.
His three sons, Tyler, Adam, and Stephen, are practically part of the team.
Which personality trait that you have would you most like to see passed on to your boys?
You know, if my kids end up to be athletes, that's terrific. That's not the most important thing. I just want them to be good kids, good people with integrity, honest. I just want them to do their very best.
Stretch it. Get back. Get back. Get back.
And that's all I could ever ask from them.
That's it. Ball up. Ball up. Ball up. A little more over the top.
In many ways, Mariucci's coaching and parenting skills are one and the same. Traits that began to take shape when he was young.
I heard a story about you that you went to a sports banquet when you were a senior year in, I think, high school. And you were a good athlete, but you didn't win any of the awards. And you were just crushed. And your dad wrote a letter to the paper.
An open letter to an athlete, that's what it was called. And it was anonymous. And it really served as a motivation for me in college.
You've carried that letter with you through high school, college, and now it's hanging in your office with the 49ers.
I sit right here, and it's right behind my head. And it was just a note from a father to his son saying how proud of me he was.
The most important part of it was to express what athletics and performance and character and sportsmanship was all about.
I've seen you cry and suffer silently in defeat and exult in victory. I've learned from you, son, about courage, about loyalty and fair play. And I admire your optimism and your philosophy of life.
Being a hero sometimes is misleading. So he scored 5 TDs, you know. Is that a hero? You got to have more than that to be a hero or a role model, you know. You've got to show that character.
I see the same character that we always saw, the same character that I always brag about. I always brag about you guys because I love you and I believe in you because that's what kind of character we've had. It showed today.
No man had a finer son.
Steve Mariucci.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Good. Huh?
Father to 4.
How you doing? You killed him. How you doing, buddy?
Father figure to many more.
My name is TJ Troop. I teach physical education at a special ed center in South Central LA. Previous to that, I coached high school and college football for 20 years. Before that, I was a high school and college football player.
TJ Troop is a father figure to his students, and he's also a father of figures with a passion for pass defense.
I grew up in Illinois and was and am a lifetime Bear fan and followed George Allen. And in '63, when the Bears won the title, Allen's defense intercepted 36 passes and led the league. And later on, when I was a defensive back and realized how difficult it was to intercept the pass, came my fascination with first charting the Bears, and now I've charted every individual interception since 1948 to the present, 24,000. I think I'm a scholar of the game. I went back and, by the help of a Minnesota math professor, had a way of breaking it down, the mathematical process, and rated every team pass defense from 48 to the present. The correlation between being #1 in pass defense and winning a championship is overwhelming. The 65, 66, and 67 Green Bay Packers were the 3-time champions. They also led the league in pass defense all 3 years. Green Bay did not lead again till 2 years ago, and they won a Super Bowl that year. You cannot win a championship unless you play pass defense, and it carries through from 1948 all the way to the present.
Here comes the safety blitz, looks and throws, intercepted! Picked off down the sidelines goes the Seahawks, Sean Springs.
TJ's numbers crunching also shows that any team returning an interception for a touchdown in a game will win that game 80% of the time. His calculations hold true for the 1998 season, where to date, 84% of all thefts returned for scores have occurred in victory. Baltimore's Rod Woodson has returned a pair of picks for touchdowns this season. Woodson is the only current player on TJ Troop's all-time secondary.
My favorite defensive back of all time was and always will be Rod Woodson. He's the only current defensive back that I would put on my all-time team because there's not one skill he hasn't mastered. His ability to not only intercept the ball, but to return the ball. He's about to approach 1,000 yards in returns with interception. Only 5 men have ever done that.
TJ's other corner is a standout from the 1950s.
Night Train Lane. He was such a gambler. He revolutionized the game. His rookie year, he intercepts 14 passes in the last 9 games, and the Rams go to the playoffs after a 1-3 start. Is just miraculous. He dominated. At safety, I would have to go with Emlen Tunnell. He was the first black man with the Giants, the first defensive player in the Hall of Fame. He's the pathfinder. From the middle of 1948 into 1952, Tunnell intercepted 27 passes in 31 games. Can you imagine going out there every week like that, and somehow, some way, he found a way to get to the ball and take it away from the other team. He set the record in 52, and he held it for 27 years. Ronnie Lott is very deserving on any all-time secondary team. The 49ers finished dead last in pass defense in 1980. So in 81, Walsh drafts Ronnie Lott. The 49ers play him at corner. He makes all-pro. And he doesn't have great speed. They move him to free safety. My God, he was phenomenal.
Regardless of the era, TJ Troop believes intercepting a pass is a difficult art to master.
The ball is in flight. You're asking a man who does not know where that ball is supposed to be 3.5 seconds ago to backpedal, plant his feet, break on the ball on the perfect angle, and cut in front of a man who knows where he's supposed to be.
So far in 1998, defenders have responded by returning interceptions for touchdowns at a record pace, and a father of figures named TJ Troop has it all figured out. Taking an interception into the end zone almost always adds up to victory.
He puts the maraschino cherry on a Sunday of an evening with a 70-yard interception return touchdown.